What's going on, y'all? Welcome to this episode of the Murmc Sound Podcast. So, before we get into this episode, just want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, definitely joined our Discord server. We got tons of people in there. We're super active in there. All of our friends, as well as our Murmc artists, are in there, always active, always hanging out with everybody. Definitely check that out. Link to that will be in the description below. Speaking of links in the description, definitely also go check it out. Our secondary link down here in the description, and that is the link for the Murmc Music Spotify playlist. We got all of our releases on that playlist, including releases from some friends that we decided to feature on this playlist. So definitely go check those links out. Let's go ahead and get into today's episode. So today's episode, we didn't really have a guest planned for this episode, so Gavin and I decided to do a kind of like a solo episode where it's just he and I hanging out, chatting, hanging out, doing what we normally do. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We got more episodes, more guests featured on the way. If you want to be featured on this episode, feel free to hit us up by email, murmcmusic@outlook.com, or just hit us up in the Discord server. Either or, we'll definitely put you on. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this episode. Much love, guys. Peace.
I'm excited. It's going to be a fun episode.
Absolutely. So, as some of you may know, if you've been listening to some of our releases, Gavin here has also released a song with us called Party Starter. If you haven't already, definitely go check it out. It's available on all platforms. Super awesome tune.
It's known to start parties.
It has been known to start parties, indeed. Absolutely. So, let me ask you about it. What was your thought process and everything when you were making that song, dude?
That was kind of during my throwing as much stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks phase of production. So like probably like a year and a half maybe of uh maybe not even that, if that. I don't even know. Like I can't really remember when I started producing. Like I kind of remember when I got Ableton because it was a very slow, gradual process.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that song actually. Um, I just wanted to make like something future based because I was like slamming my head against a bunch of different stuff and like
Right, right.
I, I found some samples and like a vocal and I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And like I realized that like like making a like more like I don't want to say down tempo, but like cut time beat was like
Mm-hmm.
easier at that point for me as opposed to trying to in terms of like compression and things like that.
I feel that.
Um,
Yo, what's good, Cutoff? Welcome.
hey, cut off. What's going on? Glad you're here. Um, so like when I kind of figured that out, I was like, oh, I can do this way and it'll work. The song kind of like came to fruition. And what's interesting is like half of the songs that are going to come out, well, a little less than half that are going to come out on this like first wave. Um, I did most of them like over a year ago. So like having your ears on them now and then through the mastering process, I'm realizing that a lot of what I was doing like I say this all the time to you, like you bring out the idea that's there. You know what I mean? Like I think that's something that's very admirable about your process in mastering. But yeah, when I sent that to you, it was mixed down and ready to go for the most part, and like you sprinkled some ECKA dust on it, and it was turned out fucking great.
I tried. I tried hard. I tried to make it sound to what you wanted for it. Which,
Yeah,
for
you
those of
nailed
you
it.
who don't know, I was the mixing and mastering engineer for Gavin's song. So,
And probably most songs going forward in life. Um, but
word job
yeah, I
security.
yeah, factual. Um, yeah, I put about six of those songs together on an EP 2 Halloweens ago because I remember I dropped it on Halloween. I
Mm,
did like a 24-hour live stream.
nice.
Yeah, it was kind of nuts. Um, but that didn't really get any traction, and the music that I'm making now is a lot different. So I kind of just wanted to get these songs that are in this package right now like properly finished and like have the because I know they're all decent. You know what I mean? They're all fundamentally decent tracks. So my whole goal over the next year is to have those tracks out, but also keep working on the stuff I'm at because it's like you can attest to this. It's completely different now.
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody. I think everybody's progression in our little circle of producers that we've built over these past 2 years on Discord have really progressed a lot. Even the people that we've met along the way as well.
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
a lot of these cats that we met when we first met in Dr. Fresh's server, which is where we officially first met
Yep.
for the first time. So shout out to Dr. Fresh.
Shout out to Tony.
Shout out
Big
Tony.
ups to the big homie.
Yep. I'm seeing you soon, Tony. I'm coming to see you.
Hell yeah.
When you come back to the Bay. It's gonna be fun.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people like Gowie's production got really good before he got wrapped up in his career. I don't know where he's at. I haven't talked to him.
And I lost touch with a lot of those guys from overseas. Other than Nova.
Yeah.
Nova pops in the server every so often.
Oh, weird. I haven't caught him yet, but I'd love to.
Yeah, he hops in it's random, super random when he pops in.
Yeah, well, I chatted with Gowie like right after we signed and like we're established as a label. I was like, we're looking to put out Baseline, like I got you. And he was like, yeah, for sure. But I was just like, just send me whatever you make, and he hasn't sent me anything, which is lame. So Gowie, if you're listening, send me some shit, bro.
Come on, Gowie, you slacking, bro. You slacking. We'll put you on. We got you.
But like Darksy, not Darksy, Damsey, I've downloaded a few of his tracks that he's come out with.
Yeah, so Damsey.
Yeah.
Zepho too. Zepho.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Zepho's nuts.
He's a beast. Well, I remember the first time I met him, I was talking to Jamie Novo, and he was just chilling in the background, and we got to talking, and he was like, I've been on the biggest stages, like I nailed this music shit, like it's just not for me. And I was like, bro, like what? Like you're Zepho, bro. Like what do you mean?
I mean, I can understand that though.
Yeah, for sure. He's young too. He's only like 22, 23 maybe.
Yeah, I could totally understand where he's coming from though. Like,
no, for sure. Like, especially in the UK, like being a club DJ is both a commitment and a very lucrative job. Like club culture is much more established there in an independent way than it is here. So like I could see like getting burnt out really quickly because no matter how many clubs you play in a week, there's always 8 more clubs that need to be played.
Absolutely.
Where like in the US, like each major city might have 1 or 2 clubs that play dance music, maybe 3 if it's a really poppin' city.
Yeah.
Or it's not New York or LA.
Or in this case, Dallas, too.
Yeah, Dallas too.
Yeah, Dallas is hopping.
And like Miami too, and like, but once you get out of those like major import cities, like let's say like Des Moines, Iowa, like how many clubs do you think in Des Moines, Iowa play house music or dance music in general?
1 on an off night, on a fucking off night.
On a Thursday, and they're 18 plus shows.
Sounds a lot like our Idaho show.
Should have been, could have been, wasn't. So
might as well have been. Would have been damn near the same turnout.
Yeah. Well, there was no. We didn't have foam or confetti cannons, bro. What do you expect?
Like Homeboy was really gonna have a foam and confetti cannon.
Yeah, I don't think so. But like, I don't know. That's just the first thing that popped in my. I need to like minimize Ableton because I just be sitting here scrolling back and forth on my screen, just like fidgeting with Ableton. Like Ableton is a fidget spinner at this point.
Ableton is a fidget. Oh my god.
That's where
This
I'm
guy.
at, dude. I get anxiety going in, I get anxiety during, and I get anxiety on the way out, thinking that I should still be working.
That sounds like me EQing my track, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds like me doing a whole lot of EQing. Just nothing but anxiety.
Yeah. Because it's like you can cut too much, but then you also can't. It's like a very fine line.
Mm-hmm.
Cutting too much and not cutting enough. I'm learning that, like, I'm learning this a lot, that, like, less is more with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I was putting a lot of unnecessary elements in certain places and not enough elements in other places. Like, I'm realizing that my drum beats are kind of stale. So, trying to do more about that, varying them up, make it more interesting, and like simplifying my bass lines,
Mm-hmm.
which is like
Yeah.
been kind of interesting.
Simplicity goes a long way because I
For
find that the
sure.
more simple your bass lines are, the more intricate layering you can do with it.
Right.
So
Yeah, I
even though
think that's how a lot of those UK based guys get that sound that I'm looking for. Is it's a combination of like layering and then reverb. But I haven't found like the reverb that it is. At first I thought it was like a hall or like a tile room. I used to use that a lot because it kind of gave a similar effect.
mm,
Um, but then I'm like, oh, is it a plate reverb? And it's not really a plate reverb. So I'm just like, I'm mystified. If anybody in the chat knows what I'm talking about and wants to answer my questions,
or
please help.
anybody in the YouTube comments as
Oh
well
yeah, that
out
too.
there to our esteemed internet audience that always watches our episodes. Yeah, anybody knows any tips? Feel free to drop them some comments. We're totally open.
It's
Because
just such an interesting genre to me because it kind of feels like an extension of the electro house thing that I'm super into,
mm-hmm,
which is like somewhere between bass house and future house.
mm-hmm.
Um, but like the goal is to make stuff that you can play in your set, and like I'm happy enough to release stuff, but like then I think about a set, I'm like, I don't even know where when I'd play this because I can't play it to a bar because it's fucking like actual dance music. You know what I mean? It's not just like house beats.
Mm-hmm.
Like so because my only gig is playing this bar every Saturday. It's awesome. I love it and I'm very thankful to have it. Um there's a certain level of dance music that I just can't go to. And there's like two or three gears past that level that I can't even think about touching. And baseline really is like that like exponential nth level because it's so fucking hard. But it's melodic.
It is. It's it's nasty as fuck too.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And you can do so much with it too. You hear like break beats in there. Sometimes you hear like more American bass house style stuff like Jaws stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really interesting because like I feel like it's the first it it's the newest wave of Brit invasion since like piano house, like UK house. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I can
Like
agree
it
with
was
you
kind
there.
of like dubstep. Well, maybe dubstep is probably because it was like piano house and then dubstep, and like drum and bass and dubstep kind of came out
Mm-hmm.
around the same time. They were kind of
Similar.
like
I feel like drum and bass
sound.
has always been around in the states. It's always just been something that's always just reigned supreme in the underground,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
but it came from Britain.
Yeah, no, it really
Yeah,
no, it totally did. But I feel like the essence of what drum and bass is now has always been around the states.
yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
know who doesn't get discussed enough for their influence on dance music is the French. Because you got
Cutoff said in
fucking
here. That's why I stopped gigs that are too small. I make dance music, not bar music. I feel that.
facts.
Mad facts.
Yeah,
I totally feel
yeah,
that.
for sure. I definitely agree with that. The problem is around me, all the bigger gigs are corporate, so you have to sign a contract and shit.
Yeah.
Um,
At that point,
there
it's just
are
not worth
some
it.
independent clubs, but they just don't get the kids around here don't want to go to underground clubs. They don't want to go to sweaty places. They want to go somewhere where they can get White Claw and get dressed up.
Yeah.
And like I get that 100%, and it has its place in the scene for sure. But I feel like a lot of the soul has been lost around here. Everything seems to be like a cash grab, or like either a cash grab or really clicky.
Yeah. I mean, I
Uh,
feel like that's how it is in a lot of places. I
yeah.
like White Claws, says Mia.
Oh, me too. Like hook me up with that watermelon, John. But like it's the and I think it's just a reflection of the commercialization of dance music culture. Um, that genie is out of the bottle. I don't think it's ever going to go back in the bottle. So I think the people who are responsible for the underground, the drivers of the true culture, need
I
to start
see.
taking a look at things and being like, okay, how do we adapt to this modern?
The French, they have Daft Punk and Frenchcore. The Dutch and German had a huge influence on it. The first quote unquote computer music was made by a German band. Says
Yeah,
says cut
Mastercraft.
says cut off. Yeah. Who doesn't love Mastercraft?
Right. Oh,
Oh
not Mastercraft, Kraftwerk.
yeah, that's what it was. Kraftwerk.
Kraftwerk. Mastercraft is the two DJs from New York. Um,
It had craft in it. It was close.
yeah, for sure.
We're
Well, no,
halfway.
I was thinking about like French, even in the modern era too. Like Chami, he's French. DJ Snake is French. Yeah, definitely Daft Punk, but the whole like filter disco, French disco thing, that had a huge influence on
Binge Watch is
like a
French too, I
lot of
believe.
Europe. Who?
Binge Watch.
I don't know him.
He's
One of the
a house artist that Tony's worked with a lot.
oh word.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think,
According to
but
Cutoff here, Kraftwerk just means power plant.
oh,
Interesting. I didn't know that.
me neither.
The more you know.
That's a great name for an electronic music group.
Power
It's
plant.
really power plant.
That
Um,
actually works though if you really think about it.
yeah, I feel like Germany and those like Eastern European countries really took to hardcore and like the harder style, like harder techno, things like that, and really made them their own. Do you know the Dutch call all electronic music house music? Do you know that?
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
back in the days, electronic music was really industrial too. That
Oh,
was
for sure.
from Cutoff. Oh yeah,
Definitely. Definitely.
I think industrial kind of paved the way, and it also kind of paved the way for me to enjoy the harder, weirder forms of electronic music back then.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of how I found Excision.
Is through electro type, like hard electro.
Mm, through like hard industrial remixes of like Ramstein and like
Mm,
industrial remixes of like Corn and all that shit. And then
yeah.
somehow through the old YouTube algorithm back then, I stumbled upon, oh god, what fucking song was it? Hold on, I can pull up my library here. Oh no, wait, yeah, no, it'll pull it up on my main screen. Never mind. Fuck. It was a song from like 2008. It was like an Excision remix too.
You could also cite new wave and like new like second wave punk music, like really influential in the early days of dance and electronic music. Cause like,
Yeah, I could say, you could totally say that.
yeah, like I'm trying to think of the band. I want to say it was New Religion.
Yeah, it stems back to warehouse raves where DJs played hip hop on weird BPMs. That's why it's called house music in the first place. The 4/4 kick pattern came a few years later. Ah,
Interesting.
hip hop on weird BPM. So yeah, like, because hip hop was just essentially disco.
Yeah, they use disco breaks and funk breaks too.
Yeah, disco and funk breaks. Yeah, no, that yep. So, essentially the similar BPM. Yeah, that works.
I feel like all three of those genres, though, were kind of all sitting at the same table of drum machines and synthesizers. And other than like disco that you play with a band, like house music, uh, hip hop, and like I guess new wave, for lack of a better word, like electro pop.
I
They
mean,
all
there.
kind of
I mean, there were disco DJs
swelled
too.
together. Oh, for sure. Larry Levan, fucking. He's the only one I can think of right now. But
That's the only one
if
I
you
can
would,
think of too. It's the only
but
name I can remember at least.
there are hundreds of DJs, thousands of huge DJs from Europe that still play disco.
Oh yeah,
Like the
disco
whole
never died.
Balearic movement was based around like Italian disco being played at Ibiza.
Honestly, in my opinion, disco never died, dude.
No, yeah, I love disco. I play a lot of disco at this gig that I play. I
Do
honestly
you?
really need to Yeah. I
Let's
usually
go.
yeah, because I get a bunch of new disco that's just like super funky and like a lot of it's like remixes of other tracks and like you just mixes pretty decent with like deep house or tech house and like
Yeah.
I'll start like with some 80s music, then I'll shift into disco, and then I'll play a little hip hop, and then I'll play a little bit more disco, and then I'll play some deep house, and then a little bit more disco, and then I just go tech house from like 11:30 to 12:30, and then I wind everybody
Gavin
down
Quinn.
for half an hour.
Gavin Quinn, the DJ for every American household.
Honestly though, like I just be trying to like put mouse ears on it, you know what I'm saying?
Just trying to put the mouse ears on. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just just making music for Mickey maybe someday, you know?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see, dude. We gotta see. All right, so I had an ingenious plan. While I was waiting for you, I was contemplating,
Oh,
and I was,
contemplating. Let's go.
yeah,
Okay.
I was contemplating,
I'm
and I
I'm
was
all ears.
like,
I'm looking right at you. Right at you.
I know you can see me in my soul.
Beautiful.
So like,
Beautiful.
Universal is building, like Nintendo Land,
Yeah.
right? So Disney's got to respond on an international level, right? So yeah, they have a Disney in Japan. I think yeah, Disney has Japan.
Yeah,
Disney has something.
Tokyo Disney.
Yeah, Tokyo Disney. Right. So I feel like the only way you can top Nintendo is either getting Sega or saying fuck all to video games and getting like Crunchyroll.
No, Crunchyroll is its own entity out here in the Bay. They won't.
Yeah,
They won't.
but they could easily get like integrated into the Disney Plus system.
They could, but they have a big enough following for them to stand on their own for now.
Right. Okay. So
I'm not saying I'm not saying it won't happen. It could.
Maybe they don't
happen.
purchase the company outright, but if you partner with the right distributor and you build an anime land, like,
I mean, I was just going to suggest just
that blows Nintendo out of the water.
I mean, think of it this way: look at Star Wars. Look at the whole Star Wars section of Disney right now, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, think of it think of it with the Star Wars, like with your head in the Star Wars universe.
Right.
When you see in videos of like, you know, the cantina, people walking around and all this shit, what system do you feel like you're on when you're there, when you see these videos?
Right.
You feel like you're on Tatooine. At least to me.
Right. Right.
Or some planet on the
or like
rim.
Jakku. I could see Jakku.
Or yeah, even Jakku. Jakku's a totally totally perfect one too. So since you have that texture, why not have, since it's in Tokyo, make it like, say, I don't know, Coruscant? Nar Shaddaa?
Ooh.
Right? Right?
like where your head's at. I
Miss
like where your head's at.
opportunity right here, dude.
Yeah, and like with the Avengers stuff, you could do the same thing.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
at the risk of becoming Six Flags with their absolute exploitation of the Justice League characters, um, you could really do that. You could make basically like instead of it being a palace, like a princess palace for the girls, you could have a spaceport for the boys.
Exactly. Have you know a common spaceport set for like Coruscant or Narshada in Tokyo, bro?
You know where else they missed the boat?
Where?
They should build flight simulators
They need to.
where you could fly an X-wing and
Bro,
like right, or you could just pick any ship
bro,
and
give
it
me a
just like
TIE interceptor and it's
I knew
done.
you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that.
Dude,
All
TIE
right.
interceptor's my shit, dude. It's
Yeah,
between the
they're
TIE
fine.
interceptor or the uh
Dude, I'm trying to fly
the
Slave 1, bro, or the Falcon.
nah, I'm thinking. I mean, they have the Smuggler's Run, which is the Falcon.
Right, but you're sitting in it and you don't get to control it.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of do, but you kind of don't. But like
Right, so like,
full 100% like legit flight simulator.
right?
I'm not sure. I'm not aware if they have anything like that. But dude, that'd be
Dear
huge.
Disney, please employ me so I can develop this technology. Signed, Gavin.
Mia says you do get to control it.
Oh. Oh. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, is that the one where you go into a flight bay and everybody has a different job? Did I see that? Is that a thing? Yeah.
I think that's it.
So like
Cut up-
imagine
cut
that on a micro level.
Right, just flying like a fucking starfighter, bro. Even
Yeah.
better for the Disney out here in California.
Yeah.
Pod racing.
Yeah. Yeah. Why haven't they built that roller coaster?
Give me some fucking pod racing, dog.
Yeah. Remember that N64 game?
I play that on my Xbox console. They have it on Steam too.
Holds up.
Cutoff said this one is so easy. Slave one all the way.
Yeah.
The seismic bombs and the sound of it, bro.
Yeah. There's no sound in space.
So funny story. I've actually sampled those seismic charges in a song. It's in the song. What fucking song was it?
Yeah, cut off. I like where your head's at on Slave One. Definitely one of the coolest ships, at least in the films.
Now I remember. In my song "Illiteracy" off my Darkness album, that's where in that song the drone impact sound is a sample of me, my processing and sampling of the seismic charges.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude, they make excellent drones. Yeah, there is no sound in space, but movies would be boring. Also, plasma doesn't reflect plasma, and your hands would melt holding a lightsaber with that temperature.
It's not a plasma. It's not plasma though. It's refracted energy through the crystal.
Yep. Refracted.
Basically, like a really big, deadly prism.
Refracted energy through a focusing chamber and focusing the kyber energy of the crystal.
Right. And that's where people who try and make lightsabers just don't understand.
But however, the Sith actually were the only ones to synthesize kyber crystals.
Yeah, that's why they're hold. And because of the isn't that like why Kylo Ren's lightsaber is all ragged, and then you see a lot of like weird Sith lightsaber tech, like the Grand Inquisitors are a good example, because they like went off into developing other weapons around lightsabers, right?
I mean, the hilts of the Inquisitors were unique, but they weren't what Disney has made them out to be.
Oh, okay.
They weren't so weirdly designed and intricate like that. It's just the design and the technology within the hilts.
Mm.
Because
Have you watched that Star Wars Visions on Disney Plus?
I have not yet. No.
Dude, it's so sick. It's like a, a bunch of different anime producers made them all. Um, but there's this one, it's like kind of takes place like almost
Hold
in
on.
like feudal
So,
Japan.
so
What?
I'm just reading cutoffs chats here. So tell me, what's that energy? Like, never read something in the canon that said it's not plasma. The colors could be explained by the gas that's being used. By the way,
Because
true. True.
plasma is a hyperheated liquid or an emulsified metal, right?
Whereas these are essentially beams of light.
Right. Exactly. Like I said, it's more like a prism than it
Mm-hmm.
is a laser.
Yes. Because these
And we
crystals.
are discussing the scientific validation of imaginary laser swords. So like,
Yes, we are. 100% we are.
but I mean, if the greatest minds of on Earth have all seen Star Wars, like I don't understand how you could get to a certain place in life and not see Star Wars. How do we not have them yet? Like, where's our Marty McFly hoverboards, and where's our lightsabers, and like, where's our portals?
We're
Like,
not ready
I
for
don't
it. That's
understand.
what. That's why we're just not ready for it at all.
Well, you know what? Tom DeLonge is trying to prove us wrong there. So let's go for Tom DeLonge.
You were telling me about that what was it, like a video or a podcast or something?
Yeah, I was watching like a 15-minute snippet of Steve-O's podcast, and like
Uh,
you could tell that Tom like wanted to say everything because like every 5 or 6 words he would like stop and be like, yeah, so like kind of like that, or like make some sort of like vague like allusion to
mm,
things. And like I could just, it wasn't that old of a clip. I could just tell that like Tom is like onto something and is biding his time. Like he wrote this book, but like I think we're in for like an even more massive reveal in the next like 5 to 10 years.
shields would work with magnetic fields that can reflect plasma, and plasma is an ultra-heated gas. That would make sense
Yeah, I knew it
because
was ultra heated something.
that would make sense because shields can only reflect plasma file. I mean, physically, plasma makes a lot more sense at the end because it's sci-fi about space wizards. So, I mean, true, true.
Space
I mean,
wizards. That's so true.
when you
They're
break it,
space druids.
space druids, space wizards, druids, they go hand in hand. They're within the same spectrum.
um Yeah, I don't know. I just, yes, plasma does make sense, but only if you're thinking about it from Earth's uh like uh
Logic, pretty
yeah,
much.
exactly. Like how do we know? Like no one ever talks about like what's powering them. So like whatever generates the light that goes through the crystal, which activates the power in the crystal, which through an emitter, because there's like a top part of every lightsaber that controls the emission.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
There's the focusing chamber where the crystal's placed, and then right
yeah,
above it is the focusing lens, which goes through the emitter, which then
right,
comes out of the top of the hilt.
right. Yeah, so like there's technology there that like if you applied it to plasma would not be how you would want to do it.
It wouldn't be
Like plasma just wouldn't work. It wouldn't
yeah.
be stable enough.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It wouldn't be stable. You would see something behaving kind of like Kylo Ren's lightsaber, but more sporadic, and you'll see it actually bolting off.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of videos of people who have like tried to make real lightsabers. The one that was the closest to successful was plasma, but it was basically just like a really souped up plasma cutter.
Hmm.
So I was like, all right,
The emitter could be a
interesting.
gas pipe plus a big ass magnetic field to keep it in place. I mean, that could work too. Because I mean, realistically, the only thing you really see break as far as these lightsabers go is the hilt.
Right.
So I mean, with it retracting the way it does, it would make sense that way too.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren's lightsaber just needed the extra tech to make them. Yeah, no. When you break it down like that, that makes sense. Cut off. I see what you mean.
I just don't buy plasma because it's a lightsaber, and that's the whole core of it, is that it's light.
But at the moment, our magnetic fields in CERN that are strong enough are way too big. What Cutoff says. I haven't really read into that. I've been too busy making music.
I feel like if you combined light with sound,
Maybe.
like what do those two sets of vibrations do when you use them to hyperheat some sort of conduit light crystal?
Maybe George Lucas
Like,
just meant not heavy saber. Maybe.
fair, yeah.
Totally fucking fair.
Hey George, I noticed that you called these things lightsabers. Is that because of their distinct light emitting blade? Nah, the prototypes are just heavy.
These are just not heavy.
Yeah, these are just don't have a lot of weight to them.
Speaking of lightsabers, what's funny is here's a cool fact about it.
Mm-hmm.
The one of the original some of the original hilts from the original trilogies were old like little like rod handles that you would attach to a camera for a flash, just without the flash or just without the light and the little shield on the back of it.
Yep, I knew that.
I always think it's an interesting fact.
It is. It is. So, have you watched Empire of Dreams, the documentary
Maybe.
about the first? It's narrated by the same guy who does Ancient Aliens. It's so good. It's like almost.
I think I have. I just don't remember it. But
It was on the second disc of you remember when they released the original trilogy on DVD for the first time? And they came in like this big box set, and it had like an extra DVD of special features.
Yeah. I do.
Where they were like talking up the third movie and stuff. Well, on that there was this massive documentary about the original trilogy being made. It's on Disney Plus now. It's called Empire of Dreams. It's very good. I've watched it.
I think that's probably where I've seen it. I just don't remember the title. But I think I know what you're talking about now.
It's super good.
Yeah.
I've seen it probably just as many times as I've seen Revenge of the Sith. I haven't seen that one that many times. I just didn't like that one. Just Anakin whining everywhere. But like it makes sense why Luke would be super whiny then, because his dad was super whiny.
Mm-hmm. Like father, like son. Yeah.
Right. Like don't play the Star Wars drinking game where every time Luke whines, you drink, because you'll be shit faced before he leaves Tatooine.
No shit. Just don't play any Star Wars drinking games at all. Save yourself the fucking regret. Kenobi saved those 3 movies. No, 100%.
Oh, hello there.
Just no. Kenobi was absolutely the saving grace of the prequels.
Yeah, he's just so like Ian McKellen, right?
Yeah, Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. He's just a fucking gem. Like everything he does is so great.
He is. No, he's great. Absolutely. But yeah, had they had Obi-Wan Kenobi just been not as great, I would not have cared for the prequels at all.
I really like the character of Padme too. I think she's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like now as an adult, I can appreciate the like government undertones a little bit more.
I feel that. Yo, what up, Brony? Ahoy, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Damn, sounded like the Ricola guy.
Ricola. Not even that good of a lozenge. Like
It's not.
skip me with the Ricola, hit me with the Ludens. Ludens is where it's at.
Ludens, yeah. Kara says
Cherries.
Padme? Nah, Mace Windu and Kenobi best characters of the prequel.
Yeah, for sure. But like you,
Sure. I mean, you also can't forget about Dax,
yeah, true.
the cafe owner.
Yeah, oh, for sure. The
Dax is
best part of
Dax
Attack
is
of the Clones was like super sleuth Kenobi trying to figure out where fucking Camino was. Like I loved that's why I was so excited for Kenobi's series. I was like, I just want to see like Detective Obi-Wan Kenobi.
mm-hmm.
Like
Right.
solving mysteries. Like he should be the next Ewan McGregor should give him a time on Doctor Who.
No,
Like he should get it up.
they should just cast him as Sherlock Holmes one, like in an
Ooh, that would
alternate
be a good one.
universe.
That would be a good one. There's been like, wasn't there like a John C. Riley and fucking um
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell version of Sherlock?
I seen it and I'm just like feel like this is just another episode. This is just a following up to
Like
Step
Step
Brothers.
Brothers or
Yeah,
Talladega Nights or like
yeah.
yeah.
I'm
So
just
I
like,
never even saw that one. But
neither
like
have I. Neither have I.
I've tried to watch the Robert Downey Jr. ones so many times, and
I've enjoyed
every
it.
single time I tried to watch the first one, I fall asleep. Like literally every single time. I've tried to watch it like easily 3 or 4 times.
Damn,
Yeah, so they
that
just need to
sucks.
do that better.
I mean,
I
I
also
enjoyed it.
yeah,
I thought it was good. I thought it was funny. I thought the cast
word.
was pretty well done. Everything was pretty well executed.
Yeah, I mean Robert Downey Jr. is another gem.
Yeah, he is.
Um,
Yeah, he is. His role in fucking Zodiac was great.
I don't think I've seen that. Is that about the Zodiac killer?
hmm It's actually a
Does he
really
play?
it's actually a really good film. He plays a reporter for the San Francisco Chronicle.
Oh, interesting.
I forgot his name. He's the but he gets like he becomes targeted by the Zodiac killer for a bit, and then multiple times has claimed that he like figured out who he was and shit,
Mm.
and then just went off the wagon and it was just doing hella drugs and drinking and shit, and you know how it goes. But no,
Yeah,
definitely
that
check
can
it out.
cause.
It's a really good film.
I'll have to.
I forgot the guy's name. I think he's like Mark Ruffalo or something. The guy that plays the Hulk.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo.
He's in it as well. Jake Gyllenhaal's in it too. I can't remember who else was in it. There's a pretty good cast in there.
Yeah. The only Jake Gyllenhaal movie I've enjoyed was that October Sky movie where like he wants to be an astronaut and then he becomes an astronaut.
I haven't seen that one. Only ones I really
Showed
seen
it
with
to us in like health class or something in elementary school or middle school. I was like, oh, this movie's cool.
weird, interesting. The only Jake
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal movies I've seen other than that have been The Day After Tomorrow and Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko is good. But it's
So
like
good. So
it's
fucking
good for like artsy reasons. It's not a very good film.
I think it's a great film.
The the cinematography of it is great, and that's what makes it great.
yeah, that's why. And I did a report on that film for when I did film class back in college. Oh,
See that?
Bernie redeeming the 420 reward. You know what that means, fam?
Oh, yeah. We be hitting weed.
Right. Or as one of the songs I just recently downloaded and playing with in the record box says before the drop, DJ, it's 420, man.
It's like 420, dude. gotta clear out this here a little bit. This is Bolski. I got the hiccups. And I'm burping. High quality content here, folks.
I see you, Brony. Uh oh. Mia redeemed the no cursing reward. Can't,
I
can't.
find this reward displeasing.
It's always fun challenge though, but although I need to change that reward, but we're gonna go for it though. For the next 10 minutes, we will be completely family friendly.
I saw a video this week of a family getting into an absolute brawl on Main Street in Disney World.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What happened?
Two families just going at it.
What happened?
I don't even know. I don't know. Like, all I saw was the video. There was no there was no tail of the tape.
There was no like build up precursor to any of it.
No.
All right. So what happened in the video then?
People were just getting jacked up. Like, the ladies were fighting. The guys were trying to like separate them, but they just kept going at it. At Disney World, bro. Like,
wow.
That's unsatisfactory human behavior.
That's wild, bro.
Wild. Wild.
People be wilding nowadays, man. Yeesh.
Well, they've kind of like heightened the tension in the parks with their new introduction of this like Genie Plus thing, where like basically what they did was like build in a pay to play like or a pay to advance sort of program where like the only way you can go into lightning lanes is if you buy this pass and you get in line for it, right? But you do it virtually basically, and then you come back in time, get on the ride. And it used to be like that with the lightning passes, like that was very legitimate, but now they're making it a paid service, right? So what that's kind of done is like split the crowds. Instead of it being like anybody can get a lightning pass, it's only these select people can get the lightning passes. So it like overwhelms the standby lanes on some rides, but underwhelms the standby lanes on other rides. So you get rides that are like maybe not mainline attractions. They don't even have a line, but nobody can go to those attractions because they're all waiting in the longer mainline attraction lines because those lines are longer.
I see. By the way, we're 2 minutes in on this challenge. We got this.
Rushing it.
We got this. I'm gonna just do 2 minute call out so that way we stay on track.
Hell yeah.
We're not slipping up. This will be the first time we get this done right.
Yeah, we'd be out here.
Yeah.
So like
that's weird though that Disney would do that now.
Yes and no. Like, I mean,
I see the advantage to it, and like I see where it makes sense.
And there's also advantages to using the app.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can order food online, you can make reservations at restaurants, you can like manage your trip better on the app. So I think really what it was like, let's put this very legitimate not Easter egg, but carrot behind a paywall, and that'll force more people to use the app in the first place. So the more people they have using the app, and basically what that does for Disney is it automates the process. So if you can like book anything you would want to book for Disney for your stay on the app, then you don't have to call a concierge to do anything. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like an almost like partial automation to the fundamental operation of the park.
Yeah. Make things flow more easier and also add an obscene amount of convenience for the customer base.
For certain customer base. For the people that go there regularly, or for the people that go out of their way to plan their trip before they get there. But people who don't do that preparation and or don't go there very often are getting boned by this system. Like, think about it. It's $15 a person per day. So if you're a family of 4 and you want all 4 of your people to be able to go on lightning lanes on all 7 days of your trip there,
4
that's
minutes in.
4 by what?
4 minutes in, by the way.
Word. That's 4 by 15 by 7.
Jesus.
So like, I personally can't even do that math in my head, but
that's $420.
right, for a family of 4 to have access to the lightning lanes, let alone book the passes. Oh, and also you have to book your tickets in advance. You can't just like have a ticket purchased and show up at the park on any day you want to go to the park. Like you have to buy the ticket for the park and then reserve your spot for the day in the park at like 6 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of these things were instituted during COVID to control the crowds, and they realized how effective it was controlling the crowds in this fashion. So now as they've become more open, they've amplified that sort of control of the crowds, which like Disney's a private company. Like this isn't like the New World Order, like forcing us to like do anything crazy, but on another level, it's like sort of an implication to where consumerism and capitalism is headed. The sort of exploitive microtransactions for the ease of anything, you know? It's like, imagine if you could like pay an extra $5 to make sure that your DoorDash gets delivered hot. How many people are going to do that? So many.
Yeah, a lot of people.
A lot.
Man.
It's all Jeff Bezos' fault for inventing Amazon Prime.
Yep. It's all Jeff's fault.
Fuck Jeff. Oh, damn it!
Cock-sucking
motherfucking shit!
Hey, at least it wasn't me this time. At least it was not me.
Hey, you know what? I'll take that L with the energy of fuck Jeff Bezos.
Yep.
Also,
fuck Jeff
weren't we
Bezos.
supposed to smoke weed? We didn't even smoke the weed.
Oh yeah, we did not smoke the weed. I think I did.
Did you? Because I got a whole bowl here, like ready to smoke. So I don't think you did.
I don't think I did either. Maybe I did and just forgot. We'll just go with that.
Please hold, chat. We're rubbing our 2 collective brain cells together to try and.
Yep. Because clearly we cannot go with 10 minutes without swearing ever.
You know
we are 0 for 5 with this. I think it's time to remove this challenge.
Lowering the bar.
Because we're James Cameron in this bitch. All right.
James Cameron.
All right. Now that's starting to sound like Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf.
Just do it. You ever see that video of him like freestyle rapping at like some music festival in the woods?
Yes, that is hilarious.
He just looks so wooked out. It looks like he just borrowed a cigarette.
Speaking of just random videos of people, I saw a random video of Lil Uzi Vert breakdancing with people in New York.
Okay.
And I was just like, I did not expect him to be able to do that.
It's part of the hip hop culture, bro. It's the 3 pillars.
I mean, true, but I don't expect every hip hop artist to at least to know how to dance, though. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Eminem don't know how to fucking dance for shit.
True. He's not really an MC. He's a rapper.
I'm pretty sure fucking 50 Cent don't know how to fucking dance for shit.
You know what he can do? He can run on a treadmill while greased up with Vaseline. He can do that.
That he can.
He made a lot of money doing that.
That he can.
He made so much money, he bought a whole concert out just to piss off Nas.
Right.
Was
Just
that Nas? That was Nas, right?
I think that was Nas. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Nas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hip hop beef is
It's
just
not
hilarious.
the game. It was not.
Hip hop beef is just hilarious, bro. It's stupid.
So funny. So my opinion of the hip hop culture has kind of switched gear because over the past like couple of years, I've kind of just been like, oh, this new shit's terrible.
Yeah. By the way, cheers.
Cheers. But like you hear some good stuff. Every once in a while, like Pop Smoke. I really like Pop Smoke. I don't know how actually new that is, but
R.I.P.
a lot, pretty much
Pop-
anybody who was popular in terms of rap in the past like 3 decades, like gives it up to Eminem, which like for a while there he was kind of like the clown of the industry. Like people were like, "Oh, Eminem's this, Eminem's that, Eminem's over the hill." Da, da, da.
Yep.
But like recently, I've been seeing a lot of videos of people like, "You can't even touch M. Like, what are you talking about?"
You can, dude.
And
that's what.
no.
That's why he's gay. That's why the self-titled rap god. He is the rap god.
I'm beginning to feel like a rap.
Like he is, bro. Like, granted, there's other cats out there that just have a different style of flow that Eminem can match, but just can't match the essence that these guys bring.
Right.
Like,
But he's also written a dictionary's worth of ciphers for himself, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like, here's another example that's very up there with Eminem. Much respect and R.I.P. Gift the Gab.
Yeah.
Man, that dude, murderous on the mic. And I feel like
KRS-One too.
KRS-One
get talked about a lot.
Absolutely. I feel like those three cats. Fuck, what's his name?
MF Doom.
No, yeah, MF
should be
Doom.
up there.
MF Doom. God, it's one of the guys from Bone Thugs. I can't remember his fucking name. I think it was Cubone. No, not Cubone.
No, that's a Pokemon.
No, there was a dude on Bone Thugs for a little bit named Cubone. Just for a short break time.
Was it Crazy Bone?
No, Lazy Bone. That's what it was.
Lazy Bone.
Yeah.
Was it Ginger Bone? What about Baby Bone?
Shut the fuck up.
Scary Bone?
I'll show you a bone.
You know what? I do like archaeology a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a good time.
Is that like a hidden passion of yours? Archaeology?
Yeah. You know, I'm always looking for the ancient aliens.
Mm.
I remember this one time that the theme at camp was dinosaurs, and like everybody dressed as a dinosaur, but I dressed as an archaeologist. Everybody thought I was weird.
I could fucking see that, dude.
I'm like, you guys are dinosaurs. What do you mean?
I could totally...
You went extinct.
I am the superior.
Just walking around with a magnifying glass.
Magnifying
glass. Sorry, you've become fuel.
Magnifying glass and a brush. You just walk up to those random kids as a dinosaur. Just a
great discovery.
A fine specimen.
Eureka!
A fine specimen. I have not discovered you yet. We shall call you.
You shall be the Hufflepuffsaurus.
Go up to the fucking what's the fucking dinosaur with the bald fucking head?
The Rock, Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
No, that's an ape, my friend. That is an ape.
It's a fucking orangutan with crossbred with a mountain gorilla times plus ultra.
No, that is a fucking ape. Him and Vin Diesel, they are fucking apes.
Imagine you.
That's why Vin Diesel. That's why they only have simple fucking lines because they can't fucking remember anything.
No,
complex.
Listen, The Rock. If you look at a bunch of the recent Disney Plus stuff that's been coming out, a bunch of it is executively produced by Dwayne Johnson.
The fuck is everybody just learning how to produce shit now?
You know, being a producer is not that difficult in the film industry if you have a lot of money and your name is Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I mean, true.
And like he does all these like family friendly hit films, you know, like Jungle Book and not Jungle Book, Jungle Cruise and Jumanji. You know what I mean? Like he's the people's champ.
Yeah, yeah, true.
But I think he's just investing his money wisely right now.
Nah, he is. Although he sounds like a fucking clown in that fucking rap song I keep hearing pop up on social media.
My God, why? Like you saw it not work for John Cena, but at the same time, you could honestly say that John Cena is on a very similar level to Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He just took a very different path.
Are you talking about the invisible, abominable snowman?
Who? John Cena? Oh yeah, because you can't see him and he's really white.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people arguing with Air. I'm just like, what the fuck you talking about, dude? Who the fuck you talking to?
And they're like John Cena.
I've had people like I've had homies that like are into like the wrestling shit, like that actually go see it whenever it comes like near this area, and they're like, dude, like years ago, somebody was like, yeah, dude, I was there and I saw John Cena. I'm like, how? He goes, what do you mean?
This whole principle.
He goes, I was there, like I saw him there. I'm like, how the fuck did you see him there, dude? He goes, the fuck do you mean? How did the fuck I see him there? I saw him there. He was there, fucking doing his thing, wrestling. I'm like, no one can see him wrestle, dude. The guy's just wrestling air.
Can't see him.
Literally, homeboy just did not understand what the fuck I was like going with.
That was the time. I liked wrestling for a hot second until I learned about MMA, and then I was already doing martial arts at the time, and I started wrestling my freshman year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I realized that really all it is like super masculine gymnastics, and I was like, all right, I'm not really into that. The stories do nothing for me, but some people get like super invested in the stories, and they're like, oh my God, Trish Stratus, how could you be with Edge? And then they run on the forums and they'd be like, type in and be like, oh, next time there's gonna be this grudge match.
It's ridiculous.
Like I have a friend who like still watches it, and I'm like, what is the appeal for you? He's like, it's just entertaining, bro. Like I've been watching it for so long that it's just like ingrained. I'm like, my problem with it, I would probably watch it more if it wasn't a fucking commercial every 7 minutes. Like literally, there are so many commercials in those shows.
It's ridiculous now, dude.
It's bad.
I mean, granted, I stopped watching it. I mean, I first started watching it as a kid when it was WWF, and then around the time it switched to WWE, I also had discovered Lucha Libre. And I'm just like, fuck this shit. Lucha is the fucking way, dude. It's the same
higher level of gymnastics.
Yeah. There's just a higher level of just execution in general.
Same in Japanese wrestling.
Yeah, dude, totally. A lot of the guys from Mexico actually end up going to Japan for a few seasons, dude, and vice versa, And sometimes they'll go to the States too. Sometimes people from the States, it's all interconnected. But nah, dude, like just the wrestling.
Nobody talks about the export.
There's a few wrestling documents that talk about wrestling today, both in like Mexico and specifically in Mexico. But they talk about how there's like an exchange type deal where some guys from Mexico will go overseas or into the States and then vice versa and shit. So like in like one of the documentaries I watched, there's this guy from Japan that's been living in Mexico for like 8 years. And just made his living as a fucking wrestler, and the guy speaks fucking perfect fucking Spanish too.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm just like, cool. And it's funny, like he there was an interview and like he got a phone from his mom and he goes, hold on, I had to take this, let my mom know I'm doing an interview. So he says it in Spanish and then just switches to Japanese easily. I'm just like, wow.
That is a highly intelligent individual.
Yeah, and a lot of
Like
these guys, and a lot of
my
these
friend
guys
Tommy
too.
speaks Vietnamese, and I'm just like, bro, like every single time, anytime I'm like speaking to someone in English, and they fluently speak another language, I'm impressed with them because as a person who is very well read and like more fluent in English than your average bear, um, it astounds
Mhm.
me because I tried to learn another language. I tried Latin and I tried Spanish, and neither of them stuck. Like I couldn't get it, and like so. I should really get on this. This reminds me, it's been my goal to like learn enough Dutch so that if I ever meet laid back Luke, I can like speak to him in Dutch.
That'd
I
be
feel
dope.
like that'd be really cool.
That's a dope
Just be
goal,
like,
right? That's a dope goal right there. I think, for
you
sure.
know,
Yeah, 100%.
like half of my career is based on trying to get in the same room as laid back Luke. Like, uh, and definitely Tony too. I want to dap him up and say what's good.
For sure.
He's up there. I remember I made a vision board like right after I first started producing, and those were the only two. It was like laid back Luke, Mix Mash Records, Tony Fresh, and then his record label, which is different than what he is on now.
Yeah.
But
Yo, Witch
yeah, the
Doctor, what's good, buddy?
what's good? Yer. Yeah, anybody out there who doesn't have a vision board, make yourself a vision board
Oh
because it
yeah, it's
helps you
key.
focus in on really what you want to do.
It is absolutely key.
Hmm. And I stick by like writing things down too. Like I used to journal, like pen and paper, but I filled my most recent journal and I've converted over to journaling like digitally, so with a keyboard. And I've found that I write more words but have less, they're a little bit more rambly, less focus. I
Mm.
try to write as much as possible. That's something that I hear a lot in successful people's epitaphs, so to speak. Is that the highest caliber people in the world write every day?
Oh yeah, writing's essential, dude.
Yeah,
100%.
it's
Whether it's writing
definitely a
music or
zen
just
state
whether it's writing music or just writing random shit down.
for sure.
Just got up, was up late watching Fully Cooley with ECKA. I have a notebook at all times. I see you with that notebook all the time, Witch Doctor. I see you. I see you with that notebook. This man takes
Notebook
all the notes.
gang.
No, this man takes all the notes.
Word. That's what's up.
So
Love notes.
what's been going on with you, Gavin? What's been the latest and greatest since we released Party Starter?
Well, you and I have been going back and forth trying to figure out what the next release is, which
Yes.
is pretty exciting. Got a couple of big things on the way in the
Mm-hmm.
next like month or so. Um, I've been like just like working on tracks that like either are partially done or like I thought were done, and then I'm like going back in and changing them up a little bit.
Yo, what up, Scoob? Welcome in, buddy.
What up, Scoob? Like Zoink Scoob. But yeah, no, a lot of editing and like beefing up of tracks that I have already got through, going back into tracks that maybe the idea wasn't as fleshed out, and seeing if I can build something out of that. Um, I've tried again recently to make mashups and remixes, and nothing's come of that. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm just like not doing it right or I'm a perfectionist or I don't know, but I cannot seem to make a viable mashup. Like I
it
think
takes
or
time.
like an edit, you know what I mean? Like I know like that's like crucial to being a DJ and
Yeah.
I have so many tracks that I'd love to like just re-edit into other tracks so that I could just play the one track and not have to play both tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Um
I feel you. I've been working on a lot of edits myself too.
Yeah, I can't seem to get it to do what I want it to do. And then I get super discouraged because I'm like, I can write this music. Why can't I make these two tracks that are in the same key and are the same BPM sound the way I make them sound on the decks? I don't get it.
Ableton's warping is just weird like that.
Hmm.
It really is.
Yeah, they make it look so easy on tutorials and shit. And I'm like,
I'm still trying to figure that out as I'm sampling shit. Even when I worked on the It's Just Dubstep series,
yeah,
because hey, Jesus fucking Christ,
yeah,
because
you go ham on those.
yeah, I could do all these fucking edits and triple drops and chops like perfectly on the decks, no fucking
Right,
problem. But when it comes
right.
to fucking transposing that onto Ableton, I'm just like, fuck. Why?
Yeah,
So
because
then I have to
it's
map the fucking my 4 fucking channels to fucking 4 channels in Ableton, and then map a switch to shift those 4 channels to another 4 channels, and so on and so forth. So at times I'll have like 36 or odd fucking channels, but I'm able to control 4 of them at a time, and that's how I'm able to.
right,
And then I just automate, record the automation of me chopping.
right.
It's a pain in the
Yeah,
ass, dude.
yeah, for sure. Yep,
It
100%.
sucks.
And like I made that like it's just house music mix and like that came out good. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can blend the tracks. It's like building the like I don't know, it's just like editing things into other things that I seem to have a problem with. Maybe I'm just being lazy and haven't put enough time in. But it's one of those things where like I'll do it and I'll try and do it and it won't work and I'll be like, "All right, I'm just going to work on something else." And then I can just go work on something else. So it's like,
I feel that when it comes down to like blending and like mashing tracks like in Ableton, for example, when you're building a mix like that, you really have to sit there and think, okay, I have this track that I'm leading off with, and I'm gonna start this track, right? Or like I'm breaking down from this double, for instance, and this translates for both house and dubstep. I'm breaking out this double right after the double completely cuts off. There's just sometimes there's like this little like breakdown impact, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me use that and bring in a key point that matches the same velocity of that impact of the next track, and then I could just automate BPM from there.
right.
And essentially, you're pretty much doing that with your deck and your tempo mixer.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just figuring out how to. It's just figuring out the sounds there, and it'll be executed just right. It's just figuring out how to do it.
Yeah,
And when
like
you figure out how to do it, when you figure out the
I've been
how,
like
you got also
yeah,
got to figure out the why.
right.
So that way you can
Yeah,
just
like
repeat over and over without being like, "What do I need to do again?"
right. I've been doing the method of like setting the BPM and setting it to this so that like the two songs are the same BPM
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same BPM as the fucking project. And I don't have my shit to warp long samples when I load them, so they shouldn't warp. And I still can't get them to line up. Like, what's the difference between putting like I get there's no beat grid, but like this should just work, and it doesn't. I'm like, ugh,
Yeah,
okay,
sometimes you actually have to warp the
yeah,
the grid, your grid. So in this case, when it doesn't work, you gotta at this point you would figure out which one is your main song, and then
right,
which song is like the secondary tune that you're doubling up with, right?
yeah,
And then essentially he would just have to warp the beats, the beat grid for the secondary song to the track that's your main track.
right.
And then the more you do it, eventually everything else will slowly start lining up, so you won't have to do individual warp markers as much. And then the
Yeah,
more
I've
you,
definitely experienced that before.
mm-hmm. And then what's funny is Ableton kind of has a weird algorithm with that.
Hmm.
So the more you do that as you're loading tracks in, the easier the flow gets as you're placing your warp markers when you have to warp things out.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's weird.
Yeah,
It's
Ableton
it's
is
it's
kind.
it's something that I experienced when I was making the last mix
Yeah,
because there's a lot of triples going on in that.
Yeah, shit's wild.
Which, if any of you guys haven't seen it already, go check that out on YouTube specifically because visuals. Shout out to Rick from OGs.
Oh, geez, Rick.
Dude, that
dude's
bro,
a beast.
I'm still not over it. I'm just like, I need, and it was funny. I'm like, I need to get those clips so that way I can bring them out to a live set.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that with some rhythm play, just.
Yeah, dude's a beast for sure.
I also reached out to another artist to give me a different style of visuals as well.
For sure. Yeah, people dig the visualizer videos for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, this one won't be for. Well, these ones will more so specifically be for like live sets regularly, and these ones are kind of more like old, grainy, weird, dark, like VHS, VCR, grainy type of shit.
Okay.
Kind of grungy shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of goes with like the rhythm vibe that I been working on the past few months since the past month since DNA.
Mm-hmm. How did that show go?
It went pretty well for the most part. So the funny thing is, everyone was like, "Have you ever played here before?" I'm like, "Nah, as a DJ." And they're like, "Oh, this is your first time playing here as a DJ?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, okay. Well, if there's anything you need, let me know." I'm like, "I'm pretty much straight for the most part. I just need water when I'm on stage." And they're like, "Oh, well, we just have a massive case that's completely that we just pull out of the freezer, that's like frozen over slightly." I'm like, "Ah." So by the time I get up on stage, it'll still be cold. Beautiful. Love it.
Nice.
Awesome. And I was like, "Can I smoke in here when I'm on stage?" And they're like, "Absolutely not." I'm like, "Okay, fair. No problem. Just wanted to ask." No problem. Like, if you have a vape, that's fine. If you have, like, Stizzy or a cart, that's fine too, but no weed up there. I'm like, okay, that's
Fair.
totally good. Totally fair. I'll power hit a blunt before I'm supposed to be up on stage. All good.
There you go.
And they're just like, "Damn, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm already 3 blunts in, but I got more. We're good." And they're just like, "Jesus fucking Christ, who are you, blunts and blondes?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm his cousin. Joints and black hair." And
How
then
did your set go?
the set went well. I was honestly really nervous and pretty self conscious about it before actually getting up on stage, because so at soundcheck, I got to meet. I met it with the homie Rushdown, who was our closer. So I'm like, all right, cool. I don't really have to. Thank you for the host, buddy. Much love, Scoob. Thank you. When Rushdown did his sound check, I'm like, cool. He's the closer. He goes after the headliner to close out the show. I don't have to worry about following up to him because I know he throws the fuck down with like the hardest tear out and like angry dubstep I've heard in a minute, and it sounds good. It's not like just complete redlining. I mean, he redlines, but it's a clean red line.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
He's not like fully redlining to the brim, but it's like just like the first dot, sometimes blinking on the second dot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still clean. So I give him props.
Right. Yeah, it's tough to ride that razor.
Mm-hmm. And then I was like, all right, cool. I didn't know who our opener was because Monk's canceled originally. So I'm just like, all right, cool. I don't know who the opener is. We don't know who the opener is, so cool. We'll just figure out when we get there. My homie Nick showed up and he plays rhythm too, but it's more like harder, heavier rhythm. So I'm like, cool. I gotta follow that shit up. That's gonna be great. And then the homegirl, I met the homegirl Dazzles there for the first time. She threw the fuck down, and it was just a lot of heavy dubstep, but really good doubles and shit. Although,
yeah,
there was an issue during her set with some of the CDJs. The volume was really ducked on some of them for some reason.
Mm.
Yeah, so some of her doubles weren't really hitting. But it's all good.
Did they fix it in between?
Nah, it wasn't fixed in between. I just played through it. I just All I did really was I took the trim on just two, because originally I was gonna do triples and stuff, but because of the CDJs on the there was issues originally with the fourth CDJ on the far right, and then the issue transferred over to the one on the far left. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm just not gonna do triples at all. I would just use two and just play the nastiest doubles I have lined up that I have as backup, and it'll be all cool. So for safety measures, what I always do before I load my setup, because I always do like a little intro, is I take the trim knob, do a sharp turn all the way up, sharp turn all the way back down, then put it right back up the middle, just to kind of give it a hard reset type of thing. You know what I mean? Like that turn it off, turn it back on type of mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Then I set it back to middle position as it always should be. EQ'd, and then EQ'd my stuff out as I always do, so that way when I play my doubles, it's not completely just super harsh.
Yeah.
And it was fine. So the crowd was pretty reactive and pretty well receiving of the selection of songs in my set, but a lot of the people there were more so for like dubstep, hard tear out, more mainstream shit. So when like real rhythm played, like a few of the rhythm heads were like vibing the fuck out, but it was like a select few. But still a great set though. I put it, and fortunate enough for me, I also played at a decent time too. I played at 11 o'clock, right before the headliner Omos played.
Yeah, that's prime.
But no, I threw the fuck down, played my hardest, played the best tunes I had in my USBs, because I loaded both of them up on each CDJ, so that way I could just access my regular set to my doubles folder perfectly.
Yep.
That's how it should be done.
For sure. Dude, I only rock one USB, but
yeah. I always bring four.
One if doesn't the other.
I always bring four. One of them is a after party backup, as well as the after party USB. The other one is my backup, and then I have one main one, and then a secondary one with the main set as a backup as well, but with a doubles and triples folder.
Yeah, backups on backups is definitely a good call.
Oh, absolutely.
It just takes so long to get to load up a USB, like from Rekordbox.
Yeah, like transferring shit over and everything.
Yeah, like switching up the lists and stuff. Even if you use their auto sync thing, it just like.
Oh, I never use auto sync. Fuck that.
Well, like just I mean, like you just select the playlists that you're gonna send over, and it like sends it over.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I don't do that. I don't even do that. God forbid I fuck up and send my whole playlist and library into a USB.
So how do you do it?
I just drag the USB and I just drag the playlist into the USB folder in Rekordbox.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I take specific lists with me.
Yeah.
Because it like
no, I take specific lists too, but like I just drag and drop those specific lists.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because I have more control of which list is being brought in.
Yeah.
God forbid.
For sure.
Because if I fuck that up, I'm just like, all right, that was on me. That's cool.
Yeah.
Whereas if I
I've
fuck
only
up
ever
doing
had
the auto sync,
one issue with good.
I was gonna say, with God forbid, with my luck in technology lately, God forbid I fuck up with the auto sync and my shit doesn't load up on the decks, or I accidentally just sync up everything and my shit just takes forever to load while I'm mixing. So I've had that happen a couple times.
Yeah, I've only had one issue, and I kind of knew it was gonna be an issue, but I was biting the bullet anyway, hoping it was done syncing, but it wasn't. But luckily, there's like an old library on my disk, on my hard drive or thumb drive, and it loaded that up, and I was like, all right, this works. I'll just play from this. There was not that many differences in tracks, a few, but not many.
Oh, okay. Well, glad that worked out.
Yeah. That was the time I remember I told you about this one. Like, I was basically flying blind because it was scanning each individual song as I put it on.
Right, yeah. I remember you telling me
So
about that.
I had to beat match with the faders,
Yep.
which like proof of concept can definitely do that, which is like nice to know, but it's also nice to not have to do that. And that's
Yeah.
kind of my feeling. That's my feeling about BPM sync, which I use in Rekordbox. And literally all it does is change the BPM to the BPM of the song that's playing. That's the only thing it does. And that in and of itself saves you so much time. You can be
So
so
much
much
time.
more specific. Yeah, you can be so much more specific about your choices because you actually have the time to like look at it. All right, I'm gonna load this up, try it out. All right, doesn't work. All right, bye. So try something different. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
it frees
absolutely.
up like, and honestly, it's a little bit of a bad habit to be in on my end because when I go and play on CDJs, I forget to check the BPM
Mm.
because I'm like, oh, I just loaded it up. It'll be the same BPM. Um, so like sometimes the first mix, I'm like, I go to do that, and it like, because if you're close, like I play house music, so everything's from like 123 to like 134. So like it's close. So when you're tapping it in, it like almost syncs up real quick and it can trick you into thinking that you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
especially if you're out of the habit of checking the BPM.
Mm.
So sometimes when I practice, I just like turn that off and like just use the sliders. But it's always good to have multiple ways of doing the same thing because it allows freedom of creativity and expression.
Yeah, 100%. We got a question sent in here from the chat from Witch Doctor here.
Ooh.
What piece of literature made the biggest impact on y'all's personal philosophy?
I feel like he asks this question every podcast.
Has he?
Um, he's
Has he?
definitely asked this more than once.
Ah.
Or he asked me, maybe he asked me in a chat. I don't know. I've
Hmm.
definitely heard this question from him before,
Ah.
though.
Hmm. Good question.
A single piece of literature.
I'm assuming so, since he says what piece. So I'm assuming a single piece of literature.
Hmm.
I think for me it would have to be. He says it could be multiple.
All right, then Shakespeare in
Shakespeare,
general. Yeah, in general. I
The
love
Wheel of Time,
Shakespeare.
and The Giver are mine. He says.
Yeah, yeah, I remember him saying The Giver's a great book.
Yeah,
One of the
I would
ones that they
say
haven't ruined by making a movie out of.
they made a movie out of it.
Did they?
Yep,
Was it good?
it's on Netflix. It's actually pretty good.
I'll have to check it out.
It's not
I
bad.
did really like that book. That was one of the first school books that I read through before the rest of the class.
Say it was The Giver and Walden for me.
Walden. That's a good
Walden
one.
Walden more specifically. I don't know. Just when I was reading Walden for English back in college, it kind of like let me realize that helped me realize that I just need to take things in for what they are and just leave it at that, and just essentially live as Thoreau did. And Thoreau essentially, when you break things down, essentially lived carefree.
Yeah, it was the definition of YOLO.
Mm-hmm. The definition of a free nomad living in a man of no man.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm just
It's an
like,
interesting cat.
yeah, interesting. I'm just like, that's I feel that
Right.
because like at the time I was playing shows regularly with the band, playing starting off as a DJ in my younger years and as like playing at like frat parties and shit, which were fucking fun,
Hmm. Oh
so
yeah.
fucking fun.
There's levels and
Oh,
sandstorm.
it was levels, lights,
Oh yeah.
summit,
Yep.
and
Don't you worry, child.
nah, I never really played that. Spaghetti, Spaghetti Monster.
Oh yeah.
and Chaos Theory.
I don't know that one.
I believe that's by Shock One.
Shock One. Yeah, I don't know that one.
An uncontrollable realm in a parallel universe. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves as I present to you Chaos Theory. Oh, dude, I need to play that out at my next show. Fuck it. Next show is gonna be like a harder dubstep like rhythm set, and I'm playing that song out randomly. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. We're gonna do tempo changes like a motherfucker.
Nice.
Yep. I've been actually working on that as a new like DJ challenge.
What, tempo switches?
Yeah. Like get them seamless and clean as fuck.
As long as you drop the first track on the one, like you're in there like swimwear.
Just let it. True, but I've been also experimenting.
Are you trying to like hard switch up?
Switch up, but get really creative with it. So like, I've been doing creative mixes from going from like dubstep. I've gone from rhythm to hard dubstep. Yo, what up, Snaps? Welcome back, buddy. Nice to see you again.
What up, dude?
I've gone from like rhythm to harder dubstep, like mainstream stuff, to hyperpop, to happy hardcore, to D&B, to tech house, to bass house, back to dubstep.
I get what you're saying. More like genre switch ups, which comes with the BPM switch up, but it's more of the feel of it. Sounds like.
Yeah, exactly.
I love me some hard house, some happy hard house. Big fan of that.
Yeah, I class myself as a closet hardcore kid.
Yeah, that's like my Candy Raver years. It's like hardcore and happy hardcore, and yeah, like.
Yep, I remember my dream rave. I remember my dream rave wanting to go was DEFCON 1 back in my early days. Yeah. Everyone was telling me back then, like, yo, when you turn 18, we got to take it to EDC. I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool, but I want to go to DEFCON 1, man.
Yeah, isn't that in Germany?
That's Australia.
Australia.
And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I just want, just kick rolls all day long.
That's how I feel about Perucaville. Like, nobody knows about Perucaville.
Oh my god.
Like, no. Electro house, dude. Yeah. Big room house.
Big room house. Just invent your own genre, bro. You know what? I'm kind of I'm working on that in a sense. So
yeah, we out here lowering the bar. Don't worry.
So fuck it. I guess I'll reveal some of it now. Well, not show you guys, but I'll reveal like the premise of it. And this has been something I've been kind of teasing. And like, if you've been listening to, if you like see me live, see me mix, especially like in a Discord server, or show some of the songs I've been working on, or even seen my Twitch production streams, or my old Twitch production streams, which now, by the way, for those of you who don't know on Twitch, I myself, as ECKA, moves all of my streams off of this Twitch channel onto my YouTube. So I now stream on YouTube regularly now. Same schedule as before, just now on YouTube. But like my breakdown stuff, you see that some of the stuff that I do as far as processing has a lot of like lo-fi essence and aesthetic to it. So what I've been trying to do is essentially been finding ways to bridge the gap, if you will, between lo-fi and rhythm. Which, in a sense, it already kind of exists as liquid rhythm, but I'm trying to go further than that. I'm trying to legitimately go complete lo-fi rhythm, which in a sense would kind of be, in a way, funk in rhythm too. But if you really think about it, the processing of funk essentially is kind of similar aesthetic-wise to lo-fi.
Yep. Yeah, when someone played me a funk song for the first time, I was like, oh, this is just lo-fi house music.
Essentially, so, like, yeah. Snap's got it. Essentially, that's what it is. Halftime funk, essentially, what it's going to be, what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
but it's not but it's more so just the texture of the sounds from funk
Okay.
and lo-fi being placed onto the processing and sound design of rhythm. It's gonna be weird, but it's the shit that I've been working on, because I've just been working on just sound designing on tons of these new ideas that I've been working on, and oh my god, dude, the shit! I can't wait to start showcasing it, guys. Just I can't wait. It's some of it's heavy, some of it's cool, some of it's soft melodic, some of it's bouncy, some of it's like, dude, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Some
Those are
of
my
it,
favorite kinds of tracks.
some of it makes you just want to go, dude, I feel nauseous. Yeah.
Instant spins.
Mm-hmm. Okay, did you like the last sample I sent you? Yes. I liked it, but I can't take it seriously enough to fucking use it this time around. But by the way, for those of you who don't know, my song "Where's the Bass," the sample, the original sample that I used was a sample of Kanye West in the studio. That was sent and inspired by the homie Sensei Chow, aka Snaps over here. Um, yeah, he sent me. We were in a VC in a Discord server. I think we were in the Glover server, if I remember correctly. And he was like, "You know, what would be funny if you just took this sample this video here, and it's the video is of it's of Kanye in the studio, and he shouts at his friend Josh, he goes, Josh, where's the bass?" And when I heard that in the video when he sent me the link, I'm like, dude, okay, yes, this is perfect. And originally it was just gonna be a meme ID that I was just gonna be playing, and then as I played it more in like Twitch streams, Discord streams, and different servers where there's people that like were DJs or all and like rhythm people, like rhythm label people and stuff. There was a lot of interest on that track, a lot. There was
That's what's up.
there was interest from just to name one was Ayo Trip, which is one of like the bigger like underground rhythm labels. They had some interest in it. There's a couple other ones that had some interest in it that I won't say for respect purposes because I love working with these guys a lot. But at at the end of it, I was just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna release it as a little freebie track, just self independent release out out on SoundCloud and YouTube exclusively. Free download. Here you go. Have fun with it.
Oh yeah, that independent work.
Mm-hmm. And it so far it's been fun. I've heard it played out a couple of times. A couple of homies like send me videos of them playing it out. Granted, the videos are all super shaky and you can't see shit, so I can't like repost them or anything.
Yeah,
But
but still, it's nice to know you got the support out there.
no, yeah, exactly, exactly. I'm like, cool, and it's cool. Like a lot of the homies that played it out, they're like, yeah, dude, this double that I found with it, awesome. I'm like, can I use that as a double sometimes? Because I think I could turn that into a triple or a nasty quad.
Right. Oh yeah.
Most of the time, it's like, fuck yeah, do it, fuck it up. There are some people out there like, nah, it's if you don't mind, I love this double too much to give it up. I'm like, no, yeah, okay, you're good for sure. Do your thing.
Yeah, I guess that's a thing in dubstep. It's not really a thing in house. People don't
It's
double
weird.
drop in house music. I'm weird that I do that.
I do too. It's been fun. I've recently been figuring out how to chop D&B.
Yeah, D&B's super fun to chop, especially like the style of D&B that I like. It chops up real nice. I haven't spun some D&B in a little bit. I should probably do that.
It's fun.
It's fun.
I did it a few nights ago for the Glovers with Korg on Monday.
Oh yeah.
It was fun.
Oh yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So before we wrap everything up here, fam, let me ask you this, Gavin. What's something that we can look forward to uh, from you?
Hmm. Well, we got two songs in the barrels ready to get launched, and then um basically just getting the rest of those tracks finished up and set up for release. It's like 13 tracks there that we're working on.
Nice.
And then hopefully I have a show here before the year ends. That's my goal. I just haven't had the connections like I was looking for, and just haven't been able to line anything up. But here's hoping. But yeah, definitely just more music. There's just gonna be more music coming out, and
Absolutely awesome.
yeah. How about you? What's up next for you?
Let's see. Well, what's coming up next regularly, at least I can say that we can expect. And we're gonna be I'll be doing regular Sunday production streams as well as regular Sunday skate session streams, playing Skate 3 on the YouTube channel every Sunday now. Got another breakdown episode coming up too. I'll be revealing that probably next week. That was gonna be fun, which also will be streamed on YouTube. Possibly going to be doing another live stream set as well. Actually, two possibly. One of them will be on my channel, and I think that might just be another live stream ID showcase / DJ set / fuck around jam session. Play some plates from the homies and play some unreleased stuff from the homies and get their stuff out there too. And then possibly another live stream set with the homies from the Rhythm Squad out in Texas.
Nice.
But more as that develops, there's just talks about it. There hasn't anything been set in stone. As far as music-wise, might have a couple releases coming up soon. We'll see. Just been really, really working hard on a lot of these tunes that I've been sitting on for a long, long time and getting these things done. But I will say that after the Instagram poll that I had a few days yesterday or 2 days ago, there might be an EP coming.
Hell yeah!
Maybe
you heard it here almost first.
Almost first. Yeah, there might be an EP coming next month. We'll see.
Cool. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, hopefully y'all will dig it. I got some interesting shit that I haven't really shown you guys. I've been making a lot of weird shit that I don't really make often. Got some happy sounding shit. I got some color bass and feature bass that I've been sitting on. Got a lot of remixes I've been sitting on too. I'm just trying to see about coordinating releases with that. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff I've been sitting on. A lot. So get ready for that shit. Get ready for that shit. It's gonna be fun.
That sounds awesome, man. Can't wait.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to start releasing it because I'm tired of sitting on these things. I see them in my record box. I see them in my library. I see them when I pull up like my Ableton folder. I'm just like, I just need to release this so that way I can move these off of my computer, not think about them, not look at them, and just get them out of my mind.
Yeah, I know that feeling. That's kind of where I was at when I sent you all the tracks I sent you.
I was
just like, I need these out of my face, and now I got an even longer list of songs that are in my face at this point. So,
hey man, it's always good to go back to those old projects and rework them.
Yeah, it's trending up. I feel like it's having too many tracks to finish is a good problem to have.
It is, but it isn't.
Yeah,
but it definitely can be taken advantage of if you have the dedication and drive to actually sit down and be like, all right, I'm gonna finish this one and I'm gonna finish this one.
Right. Yeah, finishing tracks is, I think, the single most important thing you can do. Like, even if you're not happy with it the way it turns out, or like you think you could change it, but like just finish it and just be like, all right, maybe it's not done, but it's finished. There's a difference between being finished and being done.
Yeah. Fucking Wish Doctor here says you, fuck that noise. We just send stems to the next guy. Fuck it, it's his problem now.
Well, some of us aren't in a super rad trio of awesome bass junkies.
Right, exactly. Some of us have to do our shit by ourselves. All right.
And we all know what's gonna happen if we send anything to Cutoff. He's just gonna be like sub bass.
Attending free master class trial session of Cutoff sub bass master class. By the way, Witch Doctor says it's a quad now. There's 4 members now.
Shit.
Y'all should just start a band now at this point.
What is this, Wu-Tang Clan?
Nah, see, Wu-Tang Clan is like 6 rappers and like 36 other motherfuckers with fucking ninja suits and swords, bro. They run deep.
They're the only thing stopping the world from pure domination of the Foot Clan.
Witch Doctor says, "I'm in." Grab sword. What I missed? You missed a decent amount of stuff, but never fear not. This will be back on the YouTube for sure. This totally will be playable, as well as this illustrious chat, which is our esteemed Twitch audience here.
And even see the motherfuckers, but that's okay.
You're failing as your job as the Jamie of the podcast, dude.
Listen, there's nothing in my job description that says I have to mingle with the peons, okay? No, I'm just kidding.
You've been mingling with the peons through me. Vicariously through me.
Vicariously. That's the only way I can feel the source of the crowd.
To be honest,
the great unwashed masses.
Worst. Cutoff says, to be honest, finishing tracks is the worst for every musician, but it's so important. At some point, you gotta let go of the creative part, like in video editing. There is something like a picture log where it's done from there and just tweak it and make it better, but never touching the structure again. And I think we should treat mixdown and mastering in a similar way.
Yeah, and a great way to do that is to separate your sessions. So like I have writing sessions, and then I have mixing sessions, and then I have like like writing session, and then an effects and light mixing, and then I have like a mix down session where like that's all I do is I just work on the mix and tweak stuff in that.
I feel that I mix down as I produce.
A lot of people do that. I've just found, and I'm starting to do that a little bit more. Like I'll throw an EQ, or I'll just throw like Kickstarter on something so that I can like hear what it sounds like if it's sidechained. And I'll do that a little bit in my writing process. But when I'm doing like I separate writing the track and adding the transitions. So while I'm doing the transition session, I'll also be mixing, because I find that like once you start adding effects, like you really gotta just keep going with that line of thinking.
I hate writing transitions, dude. I suck at that.
Dude, it's some of the hardest. I think it's like transitions and switch ups are like what makes dance music. It's the hardest thing.
I think for me, the reason why I just hate it so much is because I make it difficult for myself and try to make all my transitional sounds, risers, sweeps, breakdowns, all that organic in my own instead of using packs and shit. But hey, self-sabotage. All right, then, fam. We're going to cut it off from here, though. We've been at it for quite a while, and I got other stuff to take care of today. But as always, thank you, everybody who tuned in, hung out, chatted with us, vibed out with us. Tune in next week for a super, super awesome episode. We will reveal the next week's guest here shortly. And by here shortly, probably within the next week or two. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Definitely be on the lookout for more music under Murmc Music as well. We got a lot more releases under our belts on the way here soon. In the meantime, definitely go check out Gavin's song Party Starter. Go check out my latest collab with Jaisto Springwood Slasher. Both out on Murmc Music, out on all platforms. Definitely go check it out, and definitely go check out the Murmc Music playlist out on Spotify. So definitely check that out. Until next time, fam. Much love. Peace out.
Thank you. Much love.